A few years back, Chinese watches were only copies of Swiss watches of laughable quality and lacking all originality. But in the last years, the Chinese industry has greatly improved to the point of making very good watches and even of making cases and bracelets for mid-level Swiss-made watches. Among these brands, San Martin and Chronos make among the best finished and highest quality watches among the Chinese brands. However, the Achilles heel of these brands has been their lack of originality. They have made mostly copies of the big names, mostly of Rolex watches, and nothing more. Well, with the next watch that I'm going to show you, you will see that that is over, at least with this model. And whenever they came up with their original models, very bad looking, that they were not even worth considering. However, you will see that they have learned a lot since those days, and the watch I'm going to present to you is a San Martin that is extremely well finished, as usual, high quality, $250, and that has an original design, and that is the most important part of all. But should Swiss and Japanese mid-level brands run for cover? Let's find out right away. Enter the San Martin SN0116. And I know that this watch has been reviewed all over, but I myself had not had the chance to review it. But I'm glad that I did and that I have been wearing it pretty much as my daily for a few months now. And it's because this watch wears so well, which leads me to talk to you about dimensions. This watch is 39mm in diameter by 12.4mm in height by 46.6 in lug to lug, 47 in end link to end link, pretty much the same dimension, 20mm in lug width, with beads of rice bracelet tapering from 20 to 16mm. The design is at the same time complex and simple, and arguably very attractive and elegant. The blue tone might not be everyone's cup of tea, but there are much more standard models in black with red accents and in Pepsi, although those have stainless steel bezel inserts and not ceramic like the blue one. The dial itself is made in two parts, the much bigger and central part, which is sky blue and glossy, and the outer part, which is white with a rail track. At the top of the dial, you have the applied San Martin hexagon. At the bottom, in red, you have GMT, and in white, you have automatic 100 meters, 303 feet. Right underneath, you've got a frame date window at 6, as not to break the symmetry of this beautiful dial. The indices are buttons, with the button at 12, which is doubled. The minutes and hour hand are just plain buttons. The GMT hand is your typical loomed red arrow, but the most interesting of all is the lance second hand, because it is nicely shaped and it comes in orange. You might think that the colors are all over the place in this one, but somehow they marry very well together in a cohesive yet playful entity. A very beautiful watch, this one. The crystal protecting these is a top hat domed sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. The bezel insert in this model is ceramic, with the even hours marked from 2 to 24. In GMT fashion, the bezel rotates bidirectionally in 24-hour increments, and that is a very nice point. Not all watches do this, especially at this entry and mid-level price point. The cherry on the cake is the loom. Everything is loom, all the hands but for the seconds hand, and that very cool bezel insert as well. BGW9 here, and lots of it. The case is refinement itself. It is brushed on top and on the sides, and you've got a polished chamfer running all through the sides. The lugs are also drilled. When you turn the watch, you've got a solid case back, which is just as well. Nobody wants to see the NH34 in here. GMT movement, mine has been running very well, just losing about 2 or 3 seconds a day, which is, let me remind you, within COSC. The crown is signed with the hexagon. Finally, San Martin have sorted those issues of branding, and it is screwed down, ensuring those 100 meters of water resistance as advertised on the dial. The bracelet is a beads of rice bracelet, very comfortable, very fluid on those links. Everything is solid. The links are made of 7 independent parts, which is very complex and expensive to make. The clasp itself is signed with the hexagon, what I told you about the branding, about the cohesion of the branding now, and you've got a little bit under a centimeter of micro adjustments, which is just great and something that you'd not see often at this price point. For Swiss and Japanese watches, you have to go way up in price to see this kind of implementation. Cherry on the cake is the price of the watch. With all those specs, with all this beauty, this watch comes at around between 250 and 270 euros or dollars, which is an amazing price for all the package that you're getting here. I'm struggling to find any negatives on this watch, but let's go. Some may find the color combination to be a little bit too much. I myself love it, but I can understand that some people might not. Also, the bezel rotation might not be, at least at first, the most refined. It is not, of course, not as refined as a Rolex GMT Master, but neither should it be for almost 100 times less. And the stiffness that you encounter at first starts to loosen with time and gives a very nice, reassuring and secure click. Nothing extremely fancy though. On the positive sides, as I have said, it is a very beautiful watch, one packing a hell of a set of specs, and it is an original design. If San Martin keep on making these kind of watches, I really do believe that the reputation of Chinese watches will slowly start to change. Not only will they make very well priced, very high quality timepieces, but they will make timepieces that rival with the best from the entry and even mid-level brands that Switzerland or Japan can offer. So this has become one of my favorite watches and I seriously recommend it to you. If you're living in Europe, know that via SKB watches you can have it for 252 euros, following the link in the description below and using the code HR15 to get 15 euros off. This works not only for this watch but for anything on that site, and gives you free DHL delivery as well. Outside of Europe, I will be leaving links as well for this watch. I see it for around $270, which is also an amazing price for these, for all that you're getting here. Thank you very much. I'm going to be leaving you here with other videos that might interest you of very high quality watches at the best prices. Thank you very much and I'll be seeing you very soon. Goodbye.